Hello, my name is Jennifer and I'm presenting an overview of a research project entitled Evaluating Smoking Cessation in a Local Community. The purpose of this research was to study the effectiveness of a community smoking cessation program. To better understand the importance of evaluating a community smoking cessation program, we must first look at the health effects of smoking and benefits of cessation. Tobacco use has been named the leading cause of preventable death in the United States. Each year, tobacco use kills more than 400,000 Americans. This is greater than alcohol, motor vehicle accidents, other illicit drugs, and firearms combined. Tobacco use affects every body system, from lung cancer, stroke, and heart attack, to decreased wound healing, increased hearing loss, and low birth weight. Smoking cessation, though, has been shown to increase life expectancies by 10 to 14 years. People who quit smoking before the age of 40 decrease their risk of smoking-related morbidity and mortality by 90%. For the health of communities, it is therefore vital to promote smoking cessation. If we are to promote smoking cessation programs, we must also evaluate to make sure they are effective. One such program is through the West Florida Area Health Education Center. This is a local health education center in Northwest Florida. It provides several health education classes in the community, but programs for smoking cessation are currently the focus. These classes are available for the community and private employers. The program is funded by a settlement between the government and major tobacco companies. In 1997, several states sued the top tobacco companies because they were not being honest about their product and the harmful effects of tobacco. These harmful effects had already been proven in several research studies, but the tobacco companies were denying the existence of such research. Florida has used the money from this settlement to provide smoking cessation programs throughout the state. The program provides smoking cessation support, classes, and nicotine replacement therapy for residents who wish to quit smoking. There were 3 short-term goals used for this study. Evaluation of these goals was accomplished by working closely with the class instructor for the program over the course of the 15-week study. Data was gathered from several classes that were taught in private organizations and the local community. Once the data was gathered, it was evaluated to determine if the goals of the program are being met. We'll discuss each one individually. On the next slide, we can see the first short-term goal. By 1 week into the quit smoking class, participants will have an increased knowledge and understanding of the harmful effects of smoking, as evidenced by being able to identify at least 3 harmful effects of smoking. This is a knowledge level achievement and participants should be able to reach by the end of the first class. This is important for participants to achieve as they move toward their quit attempt. Evaluation was done on a very informal level for this goal, so there are no objective numbers to evaluate. All participants were able to meet this goal through review of the material taught in class and group discussion on the topic. On the next slide, we have our second short-term goal. By 2 weeks into the quit smoking class, participants will have a ready attitude to quit smoking as evidenced by setting a quit date and starting nicotine replacement therapy. In the classes that were evaluated in the past 15 weeks, 39 of 42 participants, or 93%, set a quit date and started nicotine replacement therapy. 3 participants were not ready to quit tobacco and did not begin replacement therapy during the program. They were still given nicotine replacement therapy so they could start their quit attempt when they were ready. There will always be participants who are not quite ready to quit, as everyone is in a different readiness stage in the change process. It is important, however, for the educator to evaluate and understand each participant's readiness for change, as this will direct how he interacts with participants to help them in their quit attempt. On the next slide, we see our third short-term goal. By 5 weeks after beginning the quit smoking class participants will be tobacco-free as evidenced by a carbon monoxide breath test reading of less than 6. Figure 1 on the next slide shows where participants were at the beginning of the program. These results show the distribution of participants based on their carbon monoxide reading. Of the 44 participants who attended week 1, 24 participants were considered heavy smokers with a carbon monoxide reading of greater than 21. A distribution weighted more toward heavy smokers is expected the first week. We also see that 11 participants had a carbon monoxide reading of 1 to 6, or that of a non-smoker. This can be attributed to participants who only use smokeless tobacco. For the patients that start NRT, or nicotine replacement therapy, there was a 33% success rate during the program, as evidenced by a carbon monoxide breath test reading of less than or equal to 6 by week 5 of the program. This shows that 14 out of 42 participants have been able to maintain their quit plan and stop using tobacco during the program. Figure 2 shows the changes in distribution by the end of the program. You can see here that the non-smoker category has increased to 14 participants, and the heavy smoker category has decreased to 17 participants. Over the course of the study, other information became evident that can show that the program is helping participants reach their goals, even if they are unable to be completely tobacco-free in 5 weeks. The first is the shift in number of smokers considered heavy smokers versus non or light smokers between weeks 1 and 5. Although this is not the ultimate goal of the program, it does show that the program is being effective in helping participants work toward a long-term goal of being tobacco-free. A comparison in figures 1 and 2 also show these changes. On the next slide, we note the second consideration. Patients who were able to decrease their carbon monoxide reading by at least 5 points over the course of the program. Figure 3 demonstrates these changes. Although these changes, again, are not listed in the short-term goals for this study, they are important to consider. Of the 30 participants who started the program with a carbon monoxide reading of greater than 6, 17 participants were able to decrease their carbon monoxide reading by at least 5 points. This shows that even though participants were not able to achieve the goal of becoming a non-smoker during the program, they have been able to make behavioral changes as they work toward the goal of becoming tobacco-free. On the last slide, we see 2 recommendations for future programs. The first is developing a way to track success rates for those who are only using smokeless tobacco products. This may be a little more difficult to do compared to using carbon monoxide levels for smokers. This could, however, prove to be a useful tool, especially in areas where smokeless tobacco is prevalent. Another recommendation would be evaluating relapse rates and causal factors for returning participants. It is common that it takes several attempts for smokers to quit, but there may be a potential to evaluate how to decrease the number of attempts needed and thereby increase success rates of smoking cessation programs.